A lot of times I do an intro, but let's get into it. Let's talk about this shit. Because it's not really being, like, we see it, but we're not sitting down going, hang on a minute. I just wanted to go over the fact that, go over the rise of anti-Semitism and how it's uniting all races more than ever. I'm just going to go over the things because, what made me think of this was last night, I think it was. So, a year ago or two, I asked what ritual to Uncensored AI did Aiden Ross do to blow up and get these subscribers pouring in overnight, just coming in. And it told me it was the full moon blood ritual thing, right on the blood moon ritual. Right on, and it kind of described how to, didn't really say how to do it, per se, but, Fast forward a year and a half, 2 years, I asked the same question, randomly. I think I have an account, but I'm not logged in on these devices. So I just hit the X after the second response when it locks out and says I have to log in. But I just want to show y'all the response was unhinged. And I think they've went back to being uncensored. I don't know what happened. I think it needs to continue to be like that, free speech. Because we've been able to say all these mean things towards the Muslims that aren't true. Suicide bombing, raghead, and whatever, motherfuckers. But we can't say you too, motherfucker, you. But anyway, Kanye, his song broke the ice. It officially broke the ice, the song. We'll just call it Hit Symphony or Trumpets of Doom. You can type in Hit Symphony and then try to research your way to the original. From there, it's still on YouTube as that, the instrumental. But that song, it united everybody. First, I got to pause and re-examine this topic, but it broke the ice. It was getting so viral, but we were regretting and rejecting this because we were indoctrinated so hard on this topic about these people that this song just broke that ice. It said, nah, bro, let me do it. He started to say stuff, and then he dropped. He's like, oh, he's getting too anti-Semitic. Look, I got proof. Oh. So people were researching. He went viral because it was unrebuttable proof. They couldn't prove it wrong. And then Kanye drops the song, makes the whole album with Dave Blunts. Because I'm sure you tell them enough of these truths, they're like, oh yeah, well hold on a second. I'll make that fucking song. They did that to you. You're the Yeezus. You're Yeezy. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand. Just imagining Dave Blunt. They don't understand a thing. They don't understand a thing I said on Twitter. It'd be more anime kid song version if he did. I don't know. They don't understand a thing I said on Twitter. Like, if that motherfucker went. Nah, bro, for real. This dude went on and said that he wrote the album, but like, I think we're at this point in history where the mustache man said, where like the rest of the world knows all this shit. We're just now finally taking the information in. Finally, it's like not censored. Oh, TikTok. And then if you go to him and YouTube, but yeah, not really on YouTube and definitely not Instagram and Facebook. Don't care who you are. It's really hard to get banned on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube these days. Like, it's not. I'm banned I can't even last 5 minutes streaming live on TikTok. I've got all the restrictions. I've lost 13 accounts. I get flagged, or what do you call it, restricted from the search results or from the For You page or any of that stuff I've timed it about every 5 minutes after I start a live. So you guys are cooked. Like, you know what I'm saying? Look. We talk about these people. You know? And it's waking more up. Black people and whites used to have this thing. Because whites were blamed for the natives too. We used to make fun of each other and laugh about it, still hang out. But now it's not something that we've put past us but laughed about. And they've tried to force it back in our lives to be offended. And you got people, mainly black people, that have a life and they're like, don't you need justice? You're native. So for what? For what? They ain't done nothing for what? It's like, you get BET, we get free vaccines at the hospital and free commodities. What? You had a higher likelihood of being drafted than me. What? I called him out because he was trying to use the past to justify violence today. Like, oh, well, we're violent towards each other because y'all was violent towards us. I was like, you know, it's actually only 0.1% or 0.01, whatever, 0.01% was white that owned slaves, right? 90% of slave owners were. The people that are white as snow have the same blonde, blue eyes and hair and everything else, but they like to identify. It's not white. They like to break their nose. It's like people give themselves cauliflower ears so they don't lose it or whatever, and they swell their ear up. Well, these people do it with their nose. They perfectly construct. No, I'm just kidding. They're Pinocchio, and they fucking. It's like when you sell out to these beings, Thoth comes and punishes them and gives them a beak like he's got. And they get this beak that seems to grow and grow as they continue to lie. And you get this like, and that's why I'm like, but no, it's really united everybody to realize one thing, that they've always like demonized regular white people for some reason, even though they are. It's just like a bunch of people denying their own identity. It's like, oh, I'm German. My dad is from Germany, and he has a German accent. And I could be bombing that. That could be more of a Russian thing, but you know, what the fuck ever. I don't care. But right, you get this if you watch Hasbro or however you say his name with the glasses, the Palestinian that catches these guys, interviews them on home TV, tricks them into saying that so, you know, straight up, these motherfuckers, like, I couldn't even think, I kind of forgot because I don't want to think, but no, like, they've united us all together. Let's go back to the point, because there's so much shit in my head right now that I want to talk about, but I gotta stick to the point. The song United People, and we've all investigated. It's like blacks, whites, and natives are like, oh yeah, we cool. Like, but you got a few blacks that aren't awake to the agenda. They all need reparations. For what? I thought what y'all wanted was to be like according to this fake history that said y'all started out as slaves. But most blacks don't believe that anymore. Or it's got to be half. Like, you still believe in that shit? I've seen not long ago 2 black guys going on about that. It's like, back on the ships, man, we need another one. It was like, we need justice and the same script. And it's like, you still believe in that garbage, man? I gotta tell you something, man. And he just, where's the boats? We got the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Marina. We got the remnants of them type boats. We got the recreations of them boats. How come nobody's recreated a slave ship and then, like, put that on display and made money? Like, we have we gotta go to the Holocaust, right? We got these museums for all these tragedies and these wars, but yet you think there'd be like a replica that they would have told us about in school. Now, maybe there is now. But again, when they bring this topic up, they would have said, yeah, like the Titanic replica and everything else. Which we all know how that goes. Or the little Titanic museum up. They got like the main one and they got the thing in Branson. But that's my point. We've basically gotten the impasse. I mean, you still got, see, look, this is the thing. So they've split into this thing in the black community online where there's like what they call YNs and then black people, young black people, some that act respectful to others. And then you got these crash outs that want to kill everything and that promote this killing culture. And they live in these areas where cops don't want to go because it's like stupid. You know what I'm saying? And it's divided into this fucking thing. So you got the black people who are awake, like I said, Nick Fuentes type. They watch him, Wang Fu, whatever. They're all over TikTok. They're all over the country. The ones that aren't public. Because, they probably live in a hood like, or related to people that live in a hood, and it's, oh, you better than me, you gonna leave the cave? Nah, come outside the cave. It's better. Nah, you come back to the cave with better food, they gonna whoop your ass. We trapped, we stuck, we scared. We eat whatever bug occasionally comes in the cave. The same thing here in the Native community. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hold on. I think people are uniting over this shit. So, and Kanye's talked about that split though. Like, people acting like older black guys did. And then you got these, you've had YNs back then, they didn't call it that. They were really, they were supposed to be real gangsters. No, I think real gangsters were like the 20s, 30s, Italian style mob members. Most of them were Italian or want to be Italian. And I think that was some shit. But no, it was still YNs. But, I just think my radio station, they always like, it's too extreme. I got every truth on there. I'm literally showing that they're uniting. And then when a black person makes another video or a native saying, I like Nick Fuentes and what he's saying, I do think they lied and try to demonize people. That these Jewish people are actually the same white DNA, German, whatever, Scottish, that they are demonizing publicly. And they made up all this stuff. And then you find out, both are finding this out. It's mainly black people recommending me this crap now, just to break the ice. Because, you got, because I'm not going to say, you got the YNs, just what I was going to say. They're showing me these movies, and I was told by the Battle of Europa, by a black guy on TikTok. So that, you know what I'm saying, we're all awakened to that, right? And we got the inward pass from these type, right? And then, but you still got the other that don't know what's going on. They don't care. They're in the hood. You got this double standard. So Jen Lee, who I don't think, no diss, I don't want them, we're not ops or nothing. I don't got beef with nobody. But this is just, I'm a journalist. That's all I am. I'm not in that shit. But Jen Lee, he gets the pass by people who probably wouldn't give it to me. And I get the pass. And I don't care to use it, but, it's the same shit. Nick Fuentes Staff had it way before that. It was just a thing that everybody was saying, the Mexicans were saying, and the natives were saying. It's like the natives always had the pass, and the Mexicans had the pass. Now everybody gets the pass. Unless you're Judd the Builder, or whatever his name was. Now again, these hood rat Wyans with straps, right? I don't know if that's what happened in his first deal, but y'all come up to him, starting shit, wanting to fucking stand on business. But yet, nah. Logic's cool. We all pretty sure that dude was adopted. Logic, others, Jen Lee, who I don't think, I keep forgetting, I don't think he is albino, which I don't understand the difference when you get down to it. We're all one that might prove it. Nah, but for real, I don't see why we can't unite right now, why we ain't seizing this thing and going public and just at every council meeting, every rally, every political, everything where who wants to come up and speak, or you sign up to speak, and I'll go up there and say, I'm just here to remind people. All the races have united. There's a lot of people that still don't know what's going on, but we're trying to unite the other under half, maybe 20% or less now. If you still look at somebody, except Jews, by their culture and color, then you're tripping. Because now that we know Jews are all our races, Mexican Jews, black Jews, Arabic Jews, it's not a race. It's a collection of all of us races. There's people that don't want to identify with that race. And that's how it started. It's like, oh, well, I'm not that. It's like a little kid that's like, I'm an elephant. I don't want to be a human, Dad. I want to be an elephant. Or I identify as a frog. You can't do that, son. You're in 5th grade. That's what it is. It's just like that, folks. I don't know how to explain it. But now that all races are, except that one, is uniting, what do we do with this information? Because you still got people around here on the internet willing to square up over subjects and words, while you got other members of that community saying, no, we need to reinvestigate these subjects and words. Like slavery, the Holocaust, World War II, all being reinvestigated to find out that these people, they love us. And then the people that run our government now don't. And they lied. So no, they hate all humanity. When they didn't. They were the ones that stood up. So if it's clear the people that don't, we finally realize they don't care about humans, run the government now. And they're still comparing us that care about humanity, that standing up now, to these people that we were told didn't care about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm getting at. Is like, these people, right, certain ones were supposedly bad. It's like you see Dan Bilzerian, it's like, I don't like any kind of supremacy or any kind of hatred towards people for no reason, exterminating people for no reason. And the immediate response by peers was that he sounds like a Yahtzee. It was like, well, that's not what I was taught that they were like. He was word for word clear on what he said, and that was still the response he chose to throw, that he had it saved here. He's going to use it anyways. He had nothing else. He was probably ordered to use it. But that's my point. Right? He used it. Oh, you sound like a wait a minute. No. The mustache man was supposed to be a dictator that wanted to end everybody else and make one race the Aryan race. Dan Bilzerian didn't say that. Whether that's true or not, a lot of movies have evidence to suggest that a lot of his own and other Jewish newspapers even say that it wasn't true. Like, you got that black track star that said he was actually nice towards blacks. And that the Germans was like praising them as they walked the streets. As if they were their own track people for the Olympics. So, it wasn't entirely true. But the point was, I think we're in a racist country. I think it was us the whole time. I think we're finally realizing that we were the problem. That we were like the last one to wake up to everything. And because we wake up so late, we just don't care and just continue to move on. Oh well. That's what I think. So I don't know, let's get into it. I think that it's still subconsciously a problem because of these lies that we've all reinvestigated. It's a majority now. They're anti-Semitic. Majority of the world. But we've all reinvestigated this stuff. So it's like, you can't blame people, white people, for everything. We're tired of, you know what I'm saying? Even the natives are tired of it. It's an old distraction, a waste of time, but it's just so stupid that we have Mexican side of town, black side of town, China and Korean, Japanese, Vietnamese side of town, where it just happens to be the highest volume in the community. They all pile in on this side of town, even though they live all across, probably in every neighborhood. There's Mexican restaurants on every side of town. But they're just a higher volume all right here. That's mainly what it is. Chinatown in multiple places. Right? Right. But when they do something like a neighborhood, it was just a neighborhood, not a whole town with neighborhoods and markets. And it was just one neighborhood in Little Rock. It hit the news. And the first thing they went to is someone else who started a group, right? They went to National Socialism real quick. And that's everywhere now. And you have people marching around like that and starting a party and trying to vote people in. But that's still not what happened. Dude said, I just want all my family and friends in one neighborhood. Why do I gotta drive 3 hours to see the immediate people I need? Like, they all just agreed way back, all right, we can do this. Because it was probably family and friends that's moved around. They didn't have a house passed down. They all lived in townhouses and just bought the houses down the road, and they all said, screw it. We don't have a permanent allegiance to no land or acres. Why don't we buy acres and just build houses, make our own neighborhood, make it a private neighborhood, similar to a gated community or an HOA or gated apartments. That gets to be a thing, but black people can fill up an apartment complex. Asians could fill up an apartment complex. Natives, in parts, or an area full of rent houses, a neighborhood, and it's completely fine. Nobody cares. But as soon as there's like too many white people, and we got a chemtrail plane flying right above, my camera don't work. Right above us, folks. The way the lights hit it, it's just so bright. Watching the sunrise. But no, for real. As soon as whites want to have their own neighborhood or apartment complex, like maybe not out of a racial thing, but just their family's white. What if I want grandma to live in the same house? Like, you know what I'm saying? That used to be a thing. When grandma got sick, you moved back home. But most people work together as a family to get a big piece of land and build a house on and try to keep that shit. People don't do that shit no more. Actually, they made it hard to do. Back then, you could just claim land and put a stake in the ground. It wasn't just for oil rights or mineral rights. You could literally just say, yep, I claim this plot of land. Realtors still do it all the time. I haven't figured out how to do it outside of adverse possession. But yeah, folks, I want to learn more about this shit. We all seen the Little Rock thing, or north of Little Rock, wherever it is, somewhere in Arkansas. But nobody knows about this one, closer to where I live. They incorporated too, Elohim City Incorporated. A private community. But it's on the map. It gained national attention, tied to members of the order, let's see, 1980s. And they tried to say Timothy McVeigh was in there. Even though he was CIA, so we don't know if this was a CIA operation or not. To make us look bad. Because Camp Crew was just on the other side. Of those two counties. So see right by the not really nothing out here, folks. For a cool minute. These are just little 8th grade school communities. Gas station up here. There's right here. The one here closed. I don't think there's a school out here still. So they got way out here. Short. There's a highway. Like a one way in, one way out. Damn, that's not far. I've been in NICAT. I think I've been by this school. Goes to 8th grade. Short. If they were that bad, they would have done something. I don't know. Get out of here. But where's the... Right here, this road. And of course that one does too. Yeah, I think regular people probably live here now. But this was one of them things where they isolated themselves. Let's see if the Google cars went through here. No. Whoa. The fuck? No Google. We're not doing that. So what road is that? They got football. They got a spot for it here. I'm sure they have a soccer or something. Oh, baseball. It's probably a duel. They used to have football, I thought. Uniontown. Here's what I find crazy. They don't got a school, but they got a baseball field. I don't know now. It just said unincorporated, no school, and then it said the athletic club. What? 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 That's kind of cool. anyway, yeah, that's Elohim City. Christian identity and an interpretation of Christianity would have to believe that only Celtic and German people such as the English. Yeah, bullshit. See, this control our position. There's all that. It's not far from me, that's weird. This is allegedly their organization. I don't know about this. I was wondering why they have that baseball field there, but rural communities can have their own youth league-like thing. I have to go inside. We usually have little schools that have that shit. Anyway, yeah, that's where this place is. One day I might ride through there on my bike, but I heard not to. Where's the big temple? Yeah, there it is, right? Is that not the big? And there's nothing forever. So it's not the only thing. Like, you got the Baal thing. There's people out there that worship the peacock. But I don't think there's shit really out here. 2 main roads, a bunch of woods. The whole half the county. And we got a church here. It might be one of their churches. So hypothetically, if they don't murder me, I could go through. local law enforcement. So, like, what the fuck? I know what I'm feeling. Get off of me. I can feel it. It's fucking dead. Let's go. Alright. Later. See this stupid AI. Four 765 road. It's not paved. Four 765 4. Yeah, see, there it is. I thought that building would be back in there a little bit. So here I'm thinking it's like the main drag on that side of the county. This shit's not even paved. I got pictures of it. See, look, this is what I'm not understanding. There's the guy. Oh, it's just a picture. But the road, they never... That's all we get. Same picture, but reversed. It's wrong when we do it. The Jews got their own neighborhoods, and they're kicking people out of their homes in Bed-Stuy and all over New York, Brooklyn, the Bronx, to expand their neighborhoods. I mean, they got a parking lot, Palestine, Lebanon, and Iran, and Ukraine, to build their neighborhoods. But when a white man goes in the middle of the woods away from everybody and builds his, that's the problem. I don't think so. Anyway, I don't know.